riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Estelle Getty to my Sylvester Stallone, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I have almost finished cleaning up the clown paint from the house. There are a few trouble spots on the back half of Batman, but I think they're going to come off this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the amount of face makeup you were able to remove from the house. I fear it's just a matter of days before you ruin it again with a new episode, but I'll enjoy the cleanliness for now. Tim, it's that time of year, friend. We are looking back, reflecting on a year that was, is, and continues to be 2021. At least as we record this, probably by the time it comes out, it will in fact be the future. I'm excited to talk about things. What about you, buddy?
Oh, absolutely. I had a great year. I think we should start this off probably by just giving an overall grade for the year, right? I mean, we're doing a year in review. And
yeah, no, I agree. Do we each get to rate it, or do we need to agree on this rating?
Let me give an overall grade for the both of us.
Maybe we could each give our own. Well, you're going to give one for the both of us, and then I suspect we will debate.
All right. Well, this year, 2021, gets an A. It was great. As predicted on this very show, nothing has gone wrong. And, I mean, it's not surprising, of course, as this is not 2020 and this is 2021, where nothing could go wrong. So I just want to say, I since December 2020, I have been claiming to both you, the listener, and some viewers, as well as Garrett, that nothing was going to go wrong, and I would just like to proudly announce I did not jinx it. I did not jinx it by calling my shot. Here's the bad news, Garrett.
What's that?
We're coming up on 2022. Lots of stuff is going to go wrong in 2022.
Okay, I would argue 2021, a lot of stuff went wrong. Let's just assume we disagree on that, but maybe we can agree that you think even more is going to go wrong in 2022.
Well, it would have to be more, because nothing went wrong in 2021.
Right. Okay. Do you think that a lot will go wrong, or just, of course, more than the nothing you're counting for 2021? And to be clear, I do not agree with any of this.
A lot.
Oh, anything in particular? You seem to know of particular doom?
Political, climactic, immunological. I don't think it's going to be a great year, Garrett.
Goodness
gracious. I am concerned.
Okay, well, I don't agree with your assessment. I'm going to give it a B-. That's my personal Garrett grade for the year. Let me tell you why. Did not ascend to leader of the free world. You know, it was not a 2021 goal, but I got to say, I'm disappointed it didn't happen. We still live together. That is unchanged.
These are all good things in my book.
Well, okay, starting to see where the rift is. The show has yet to be truly recognized for its greatness and unique appeal. That is frustrating.
I recognize it.
Sure. Of course you do. You're in it. I can't explain this to you again. I was this one, Tim. I was the victim of car theft on 6 different occasions, and I can only be certain that 2 of those weren't you.
Yeah, I got multiple new cars. I would argue 6. Well, I didn't get them. I got the money for them. Sorry.
Right. So I'm going to say that of the 4, which I do suspect you of being not only responsible for planning, but also perpetrating, those were also the 4 most violent carjackings of the year.
Yes. I mean, it's not important, Garrett.
Tim, you cannot just bail out of a good friend accusing you of assaulting them and stealing your car by saying it's not important. If that's not important, what is?
Listen. You're going to hand over those keys.
You're stalling.
You're going to hand over those keys. You can do it without violence. You can do it with violence. If, you know what, I'm not going to speak for certain third parties that are definitely not me. If a strangling is necessary to get those keys away, then you're going to get strangled.
Almighty. Yeah.
Point is, all of these are positives so far for me.
I'm not done. All right. Okay. There is a positive. It's a B-. It's not an F. So some things that did go well. We lost less interns this year than last year.
True.
Just numerically.
Yep. All good things.
Gino, still with us another year. He's not a young man, Tim.
Great news.
Still, I will say, very disappointing participation from the new moral paragon of the show, Mr. Jeffrey Goldblum. I really expected a lot this year, and I'm going to be honest, Tim, very disappointed in his level of participation in this year's shows.
I disagree. I think he participated too much in one of them, and that's the one where he gave me the elaborate and very long massage. He's got really long fingers, and they make me uncomfortable, and
they're very strong.
They are strong. They're strong for how long and thin they are. He's like a borderline spider monkey.
Yeah, he played you like a jazz piano. And then the final thing is double-edged sword, Tim. So many emails.
Oh, I will say that. Stop emailing us. I can't. I don't like them. I can't.
You can't do that, Tim.
I can. Let's just stop communicating with each other, audience. No more DMs. No more emails. No more tweets. It has become
overwhelming.
No more YouTube comments. No more iTunes reviews. Just leave us alone. It's too much.
It's for two people that manage most of the social media because, frankly, our interns and our producer are useless. It's actually a considerable amount of volume and very difficult to get through, but we appreciate it. Keep writing in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. Go ahead and put fuck Tim in the title, and then just write your email as normal. Just to let them know, like, I'm doing this in spite of you.
I will say, though, I believe we are going to have another 5 interns. I don't know if I should say this on air or not, but I did see our current crop of interns, I guess, I don't know if the term beating them in, is that what they still call it? They're initiating them. I don't get involved in their rituals, but
it's orientation, Tim. It's intern orientation. We don't
they
run
were
it.
surrounding them in a circle and stomping on them.
Please stop giving details. It troubles me that you had to preface all of this with, I'm not sure if I should say this on the show.
Well, I'm not sure.
No is the answer. You should not have.
Oh, here's another piece of good news. My men's rights group has really taken off.
I'm lowering my grade to C+.
No, come on. The INSOBs are, it's mostly charity work and community
like
building.
the Shriners?
Yeah.
We have a nice partnership with St. Jude.
Yeah, we wear hats and we drive small cars. And
what is an INSOB?
Involuntarily sober. It's made up of a group of strong, well-balanced young men who have been ordered by the court no longer to drink.
Wow, that is a unsympathetic group.
Yeah, no one...
Anyway. I'm going to be Googling this later. All right, Tim.
Before we go on further, I haven't looked at the results, but we need to announce the winner of the 2021 Dog War.
Okay, so you mentioned this in the pre-show breakdown, and by that I mean you scrawled it on a $1 bill and slid it across the table silently this morning during cereal. A couple questions before you announce the Dog War winner 2021, because I don't want to make any crazy accusations, suspicious of anything you're about to say, but I'm curious.
The Dutch vote has been separated out, if that's what you're concerned with.
That was my third question. Let me get to the first two. How have votes been tabulated? Like, where did the votes come from?
Oh, they came from a series of 4 drop boxes around the city of Austin, 1 in Chicago, 1 in Seattle, and 1, I believe, in Orlando, as well as a P.O. box where listeners or viewers could mail their votes in from anywhere.
Wow. I gotta say, Tim, I have 3 questions. 2 of them you've answered, and you've assuaged 98% of my fears. I guess the last one's just a curiosity. How many votes were collected?
276,998, plus some from the Dutch.
That is a factor of 100 more than I expected.
Oh.
That's fascinating. And you've separated out the Dutch.
Well, I didn't. The interns did. I don't want to be accused of any... Listen, Garrett, I have, of course... influenced an election or two. My point is, I didn't want to be accused of any foul play here as I have in the past, so I let the interns separate them into 2 big piles and then count those piles. Of course, the Dutch were separated beforehand.
If anyone's curious, Tim is, of course, referring to the both 2000 presidential election and the far more contentious 2019 Why I Hate This Album Bake Off,
yes,
in which Tim's vote as the formal and only judge for the Bake Off certainly received, let's just say, certain favors from other parties in the Bake Off for a favorable vote.
I admit that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You openly bragged about it.
Yes.
It was odd of you to brag to me, a competitor in the Bake Off, that you had thrown the Bake Off.
It was odd for me to brag to Al Gore, but I did.
Yeah, that also was strange. I'm going to put you in a lockbox, Timothy.
I wanted him to know what I'd done. It's if he doesn't know, I don't want George Bush to be president. That's a terrible outcome. But I do want him to know what I've done.
You're a weird guy with a funny sense of humor, but I guess that's why I do this with you. All right, Tim, enough of this ridiculous suspense. Let's reveal it. I mean, go ahead, Tim. I'm going to put all my faith in you. I'm going to believe that this is an unbiased, fair vote. Who won the 2021 Dog War?
All right, well, let me get the envelope from Travis. Okay, so the results of the in-person and mail-in ballots are 131,011 votes for Yogi. It's pretty goddamn good.
Oh my God, Tim. Tim, read that number. I know that face.
145,987 votes for God damn it.
Wow. Tim,
Look
allow
how
me to
sad
be.
Yogi looks.
I know. He looks very sad. Wow. I didn't see this coming. I didn't prepare a speech, but
I've got a speech. You want to hear my speech?
No.
Those of you that voted for Batman, I want to be
come the physical threats.
very clear. You guys voted for a rapist dog.
Okay, wait. Okay. Whoa.
Sorry, a dog that rapes.
Oh my God. Batman is not Tim, that's too far. You can't call my dog a rapist.
I can, because he did. Your dog won. Your dog's the best dog. You know what? This is the first goddamn thing that has gone wrong this year. And I
disagree.
Hold on. The Dutch prefer Yogi. It's in, I am proud to say, by a nearly 3-1 margin.
3-1.
1,512 to 601. Yogi is the preferred dog in wherever the Dutch are.
The Dutch. Right.
In the Dutch.
You know what? I got to say, you can have it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want a Dutch dog. Yeah, you got a Dutch dog.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Now, I was going to be magnanimous and say Yogi was a great competitor. He's a very good dog, and I wish him all the luck in the world in 2022. But I'm just going to say it. Your dog's a maniac.
He's a sweet maniac. I love him.
He is ill-disciplined.
That's not true.
He is a full reflection of his owner.
That is true. Okay.
And I have heard from more than 2 very reliable sources that he is not current on his taxes. Yeah. Okay. You think about that. Anyway, moving on.
Do you not like Yogi?
I love Yogi.
Oh, okay.
He is an excellent doggy. Right. I'm just saying. Listen, I was trying to hold back, Tim. I was trying to hold back. I got this envelope. Listen, I got envelopes on everybody. And should the occasion rise, and I got to unload, I'm going to open that envelope. And you forced my hand today. I apologize. I went too far. Yogi's a good boy. Yeah. Alrighty. Batman's a better boy.
No, he's not. You know what? I can't argue with these results. In the Dutch, my dog is preferred.
Enjoy it. You're just a little boy with a Dutch dog. A little Dutch dog boy. Enjoy it. All right, Tim. That brings us to the part of the year in review where you and I go tit for tat, back and forth, to list our top 5 least favorite albums of the year. Before we talk about what those albums are, I think we should maybe level set and discuss what our criteria was. I'm curious how much it aligns. Let me begin. For me, to make this list in no particular order, actually it's in chronological order, to make this list for me, it's an intersection of bad and not fun. So if you're fun, but you're bad, you're probably not on this list. If you're not that bad, but you're not very fun, you might not be on this list. But if you're not fun and you're not good, you're definitely on this list.
In lieu of criteria this year, I kind of just looked through all the episodes we did, and I wrote down the 5 albums and the 5 songs that made me the angriest in that moment. Now,
okay,
these may or may not have ended up in the hate column when we did the episodes. For all I know,
that's
I
not
didn't
important.
Look back and see. I might have said I don't hate these, but for the most part, I enjoyed doing all of these episodes, even the ones that I selected here. But these are things that I looked back and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, I don't know why this exists, or I know why this exists and it's exclusively to spite me.
I love those.
Yeah.
These are the ones that your gut told you, this really pissed me off.
Yes, in December of 2021.
Sure. Do it again next week, might have a completely different list.
Probably not, but yeah, maybe.
Do you want to go first, Tim, or would you like me to kick things off?
Why don't you? I feel like I always go first because I usually win the previous round.
All of those words are wrong. But I'll go first anyway, completely ignoring the insane shit you just spouted. My first album in the top 5, and I think we have very similar criteria. We expressed it slightly differently, but they're the ones that we just say, fuck this. Number 119, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Americana Deluxe.
Interesting.
From March of this year.
This one's not on my list, but it is on my honorable mention list.
I mean, for me, I went back, I looked at the episode a little bit, had to face my swing past. That was difficult, and I did it live here on the show, live to tape. And really, the second most embarrassing part of that episode was that halfway through I realized I meant to do the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. That was tough. I had to admit that one. This is, though, Tim, where we began to discuss how the big band and or modern swing renaissance of the mid to late 90s and possibly as late as 2000 almost had to have contributed to bolstering rap and or hip-hop as the dominant popular music after everybody decided, well, you know who we're not going to listen to anymore? Those assholes. And we're going to make music way better than this. And I don't blame them. I think smart call, rap and hip-hop community. Anyway, last thing I'll say about it is I listened to a couple of songs this week to get ready to talk about this. What stood out to me in hindsight, after we've done the episode, of course, that lead singer just can't sing. It's really wild. All right, Tim, what's your first one in the top 5 albums, top 5 worst albums of 2021?
My number 5, and I did try to rank these somewhat, but my number 5 is Chris Cornell's Scream.
That's my number 3. Okay, great.
Fair enough. This is only on the list because it should never have been on our show. Chris Cornell is way too good for this music. Every one of these songs sounded like scrapped attempts at Bond themes. There were beats, which is fine. There's Chris Cornell, which is great, but they don't go together. And they auto-tuned Chris Cornell.
It's maddening. I'll tell you, Tim, the only positive thing to come out of episode 122 is I do think that is the episode that began our now classic Mystic River bit of one of us screaming, "Is that my daughter?" I don't remember why, but that was in this episode we discussed section. So
it's possibly the chorus of "That bitch ain't a part of me." I said, "No, that bitch ain't a part of me." There was a 9/11 song on here, Garrett, and not, you know how we normally have 9/11 songs where there's songs that are in some way related. Songs? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That Bedouin song from Guns N' Roses.
Chinese Democracy. Yeah.
This had a song called Ground Zero and a different song that was written by John Mayer. This is one of the what happens when an artist you love makes an album you hate, but only kind of, because he wasn't, I mean, I guess he probably had some say over the music, but it doesn't seem like he did, because it's a wild departure from anything he would do before or after, and it fit his voice so poorly that the whole thing sounded like a joke. This sounded like if he was the musical guest on SNL, they might do a sketch where Chris Cornell's trying to keep up with the times, and so he's singing over, trap beats, and it just comes off sounding ridiculous. That's what this album actually is. Yeah,
it's well put, Tim. Yeah, it does not help his legacy. It's super embarrassing. I mean, it's like we could talk about this all day and probably already have, but it's one thing to have the idea. What if we made a hip-hop album with Chris Cornell? It's another thing to then record some of those songs and honestly say, I think it's working. Let's keep doing this. And then to get all the way to the end, play it for other people, probably numerous other people, and go, what do you think? Have all of those people shamelessly lie to Chris Cornell, and I can't remember who produced this. Do you remember?
Timbaland, I think.
Timbaland, that's right. To lie to Timbaland, both of which I think are very talented. Not here, not together.
Yes. This is a thing. We, as Tims, can criticize other Tims.
Wait, you're counting Timbaland as a Tim?
Yes.
His last name's not Baland.
No, I know. His name is Timbaland. It shortens to Tim, just like Timothy shortens to Tim.
Can't argue with that. Sound logic.
I have a AAA card where they screwed up my name and it says Tomothy.
Does it really? That's probably going to make me laugh harder than anything else we say on this show today. That's so stupid.
Oh, it's a Terry Chartson kind of thing. Anyway, Chris Cornell's Scream sucks.
Well done.
What do you have next? What's your number 4, Gary?
Oh, Tim, I'm sure this is going to be on your list. It's got to be. Episode 121, Bruce Willis, The Return of Bruno.
Also on my honorable mentions, and here's why. I still wear the super long billed hat sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
And I just, it keeps the sun out of my eyes. It looks dumb, I will say that, but it fucking works. And if you put it on backward, you can walk around shirtless and you only get sun on your shoulders. So you get that nice part of your spine that just stays completely white. It's awesome. The point is, it does, in fact, suck. But again, honorable mention for me.
There's so much going on here. What's maybe more amazing than any of it is that it did well. This made money.
Well, did it though?
Yes,
okay.
It made money. The second one made no money.
This
made money.
I can't imagine the HBO documentary mockumentary, whatever it was, made money.
Yeah, it was on HBO, so I don't know how that works. But what's fascinating is, aside from the fact that he does a cover of Under the Boardwalk, which is mind-boggling, his pseudo-hip-hop attire in the live performance of In Hollywood is the long brim hat, the early... this is the only way I can describe it to him. The jive talk with the fellas that opens the song.
Oh, yeah.
I guess maybe fake banter, but it's difficult. All of this to say he's the original Chris Gaines.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he does a better Chris Gaines than Chris Gaines does, because he really committed for a full project, right? He didn't just do an album like a bitch. He did an album and a film.
Album and a film, and then he bought most of a town and set up a theater and would then book bands so that he could go and perform on stage with them. Anyway.
Plus Die Hard, that was good.
Yeah. Well, wait. Were you listing good stuff? I was listing that as all bad stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
Except for Die Hard. Everybody loves Die Hard. Yeah. If you don't, stop listening. Keep downloading the show. No. After the Samuel Jackson, after Die Hard with a Vengeance, you can just go fuck yourself.
I don't know. The one where he went to Russia was good. It came back around again. Had that Sam Worthington fella in it.
What's your next album, Tim?
Blueface, Garrett. Because, Find the Beat is the most forgettable one on this list. Whenever I was trying to go through and pick albums, I went to our YouTube page, because that's where it's easiest, like the easiest layout, and I just skimmed through them, and I got to this one, and I said, what was Blueface? I don't remember any Blueface, and then I did a bit of research, and I remembered what was Blueface. I almost didn't include this, because this fella is genuinely terrifying.
Yes.
But this was garbage music. Garrett, I want to explain why I hate this so much based on his explanation of why this is so good. Mr. Face said, I was really talking to the females. Life is tough. Suck it up. Get over that little shit, Swallow ahead. Do you feel me? Swallow that little nut. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. Ain't that right, baby?
Unclear what the message is there, aside from the oral sex.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to let ladies know that even if they are having a bad day, they should still perform fellatio upon him.
Okay. Yeah, and there's the whole accusations of beating a man half to death. That was cool.
That's true. He also has the lyric slid into her DMs like a kid at the park, which either means children are sliding into ladies' DMs or Garrett, if proper grammar is to be observed, sliding into a woman's DMs like sliding into a child at a park.
I'm going to assume he meant like sliding into home plate at the baseball park.
Terrible songwriter or pervert.
I did like that Obama song. Had the sexy sax.
No, I'm out. Don't like this.
That's fair.
Garrett, we know what your number 3 is. That's the bitch that ain't a part of you. What is your number 2, I guess?
My number 2, Tim, the recent episode 137, Attila, About That Life.
Ooh, this is my number 1 most hated album.
Oh, wow. Why don't you kick us off then, if this is your number 1?
Oh, I mean, this one almost broke me, like, honestly, and it almost broke me twice. It did break me once, almost broke me a second time. This album is this year's Lulu and Corey Feldman all wrapped into one, but somehow less listenable than either of those. And
True.
I want to say, fuck Alex, fuck Austin Counts, fuck Kenyon, fuck Maxwell, fuck Oscar from Sweden, and of course, fuck Quasi.
Yeah, also fuck Gino for renditioning us to a steel ship and forcing us to listen to this for a week straight with very limited water and zero food.
Yeah, maybe the most, it's not the worst thing about this album, but the most depressing to me in hindsight is the fact that we were both so easily incapacitated by an Italian fascist septuagenarian and put on a ship that somehow he has access to. I mean, I embezzle a lot from this show, but I can't afford a ship or even the rental of a ship for 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, given where we were in the ship, I believe we were booked as cargo.
Well, sure, yeah, that makes sense, but like...
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm less shocked by the connections Gino may have to put two grown men in a boat and disappear them for a week or so. That's not surprising to me. Yeah, reeks of fascism.
Sure, but like the fact that he was able to overpower us both. How'd he get you, by the way? I know how he got me.
That propofol.
Yeah, he just offers it to you, and you say, "Yeah, sure." Wake up on a boat.
I want to take a ride. Woke up on a boat. Yeah, that's the thing, Tail. I was going to say, I'm not surprised he got us at all because it's 9 times out of 10, and don't check those statistics, people are abducted by close friends or family. It doesn't surprise me at all because I am not nervous around Gino. If he offers me a tug of prope, I'm going to take a pull. Take a ride on that magic dragon. It doesn't all have to go to subduing you. Next thing you know, you wake up halfway to Hong Kong, listening to Attila for a week straight, drinking your own piss.
We did get in a great swim on the way home, though.
We really did. I got to say, the miles you've been putting into the pool really paid off. I took a lot of breaks. I also want to mention things we didn't say. One, when I hear Attila, and more specifically the topics of Attila, my closest personal analog is Bloodhound Gang, because they're both talking about nonsense. But at least with Bloodhound Gang, the wink is right front and center. They're joking. I worry Attila is far more serious about the nonsense they're singing about than you or I would ever assume.
I feel like it's one of those times where they've kind of started to believe their own bullshit. You know, like I definitely think this started out with like, let's freak out the squares. Sure.
Right.
But at some point, it kind of, if this whole thing is a bit, you're wasting your life. Like this show, for example, right? This show is, it's a bit. Essentially.
Right.
And
it's jokes wrapped in jokes. It's a huge waste of time.
And we can both admit that we are wasting huge amounts of time on this, right?
That's and somehow that makes it better.
I wouldn't say that. But the point is that Attila, I don't think is willing to admit that. I think that's
how you end up on OnlyFans.
That's true. I wonder how much.
Except for that brief period where we were on OnlyFans because I was not aware that you had put me on OnlyFans.
You're still on OnlyFans.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Stop putting me on OnlyFans. Stop recording me at times I am not aware of or times I am. Don't put me on OnlyFans. Don't put me on the internet. Well, put me on the internet for the podcast. No, you don't know how that works.
I made $300 from a single person who wanted to watch you just eat breakfast, completely clothed.
I feel like we made $300, not you made $300. Really, I made $300. Don't film me eating cereal.
Did you see any of that money?
No.
Then I made $300.
That's not what I meant. I feel like you know that. Before we wrap up on Attila and get to my number one, your number two, let us not forget the screaming. The excessive screaming on the episode, on the album. And also your inappropriate and strange reference to Engelman syndrome during the episode. I don't know why.
I don't remember that.
Just kept screaming happy puppet syndrome. It was uncomfortable. I don't know how many of those I edited out. Not all of them. Tim, what's your number two?
Well, my number two is really my number three because I am on number three.
Whatever.
Kevin Federline, a.k.a. the Pancake Killers, Playing with Fire.
That's in my honorable mention.
This is embarrassing, and I think that it's weirdly just as bad as advertised. I think that Earl was really cashing in on the Britney of it all, both literally and metaphorically, all the while singing about how good he was at fucking not Britney Spears. He murdered a bunch of children and ground them up for pancake batter and also used additional children as blueberries in said pancakes. He bragged about it.
Allegedly.
This album and his crimes were so terrible it made Britney file for divorce and request solo custody of their children within 8 days of release. They canceled the tour for this because he only sold 1 out of every 5 seats on said tour, and only 1 out of 15 seats on said tour had people in them when he was done, quote-unquote, performing. It's possible, again, this was so bad simply because he was concentrating more on his plot with Victoria Prince to steal the assets of both Shar Jackson and Britney Spears, and less on the music side of things.
Serial grifter.
Absolutely. But again, by all accounts, pretty good background dancing, excellent dad, just not meant to be a musician.
Heard he's a great father. But yes, he is a serial grifter and goes by the confidence name, the Pancake Man.
Yes, and by confidence, I mean he woos children into his confidence, at which point he makes them into breakfast.
Remains unclear how you arrived at that conclusion.
He's the Pancake Man, Garrett. He is honoring the great pancake in the sky, just as you honor Moloch, the owl god.
Right, but not for the same reason.
Oh, God, no. It's a power thing.
Yeah. God damn it. Can we get to my number one?
Yeah.
All right. My number one, the very recent, episode 138, OAR The Wanderer.
Really? Interesting.
Oh, yes.
Not on my either list.
Well, you have very bad amnesia because this album was far more amateur than either of us ever would have guessed. It's far more ska than anybody wants to admit. The Sublime roots were astonishing. This also brought about the great Tango and Cash debate. I don't know if you recall that. I still lose sleep over it, you psychopath.
No idea what you're talking about.
2 partners escaping hell, having to work together with different way. One being conservative and one being a loose cannon.
Hold on. Is it possible that you're thinking of Drive Angry?
I swear to God. You have to know that's what you said last time, in which one of the men is a car instead of a man, like in Tango and Cash, where they have to escape prison.
I think that Nicolas Cage in a car is a good buddy comedy. If they did like a Kit Knight Rider thing, yeah.
But what's the car's name? Can't be Kit. Is it a man or a woman?
Well, it's definitely
Female?
a man. No. Escaping hell? Garrett, you're not going to want to escape hell with a lady.
Oh, I didn't realize we were escaping hell. I thought they were just, going on adventures like Knight Rider.
Well, sure, they are after they escape hell. But, you can't change your pilot. Yeah. What is John Travolta's name in Face Off?
Archer.
Yes, Sean Archer.
Archer.
So the car's name is Sean Archer, and occasionally, I don't know if it's like they get hit by lightning or what, but they like switch, their consciousnesses are inverted. And
this is why you're great and just impossible to do anything with, because this is now 3 movies. It was just the one where we swap Hasselhoff with Nick Cage and the guy who played Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World with a different name.
Ooh, but now maybe it's like back in like night times, and so you can incorporate that season of The Witch into it, or just there's nights. Like maybe they drive. There's like an episode where they go to like medieval times or something.
There's just nights.
I mean, they don't. Again, it can be current
what you
day.
said. Right. Now, while this did create the great Tango and Cash debate, which I am now completely convinced that you do, in fact, remember and are trying to drive me insane with, back to the music itself, needlessly long, way too ska-like. Just the general production it's very much a first album of guys that are just fresh out of high school.
It was a demo album that needed to be reworked for that first album, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of shame on the production, on the record company for not re-recording those.
I think they did re-record them. I think they were just, still children.
Right. All right. That brings us to your number 2, Tim, or your number 1. That is to say, the last one you're going to talk about. Boy, it's confusing.
It sure is. I feel like maybe next time we should just, you go through your entire list and I go through my entire list and then we discuss.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway.
What's the last one you're going to talk about?
Weezer's Pinkerton, Garrett. This
Wow,
was
yeah.
gross. This was threatening. This was divisive. This admitted to a number of crimes, including violations of international law and various World War II era treaties. Garrett had to be convinced to hate this because he is gross and threatening and divisive and an international criminal. Not for Japanese sex stuff, to be clear. Garrett is not a pervert. He has committed a large amount of international violence and intrigue. It's not important. The point is, this is an album about going to Japan as some sort of conquering Westerner and taking a child bride that you will definitely abandon when it's convenient, leaving her to commit suicide after giving birth to your love child, all of which is fine as an opera, I guess, but it shouldn't be aspirational. Pinkerton is not the hero of that story, and the main Wheeze's failure to see that is borderline villainous in and of itself.
It's weird to call that shot. That's the thing. You're like, I'm going to do this.
Yes, and then he did. That's the worst part about this album. Because again, Madame Butterfly, it's a fine thing to write. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless you then do it. Wheeze is the type of person that watches like Taken and thinks like, oh, it'd be pretty cool to bid on slaves with sheiks.
You can buy women?
I've been catching them on my own. That's much more convenient.
Yeah, maybe he likes the thrill of the hunt, though. He's got one of those big safari nets or whatever.
Ooh, he probably wears a hat.
Of course. Listen, that's fair. The only reason Weezer didn't appear on my list, Tim, is because it was a really fun episode to do.
Oh, sure. It was great. It was great.
The listener response, amazing. The viewer response, we had 3 times as many viewers as we typically do, not on YouTube, on the feed. Find the feed. But for that episode alone, and just the listener response, the theories that came out of it, was really an enjoyable episode all around. So it's hard for me to put it on that hate list.
Oh yeah, I had a great time doing the episode, but looking back on that album filled me with rage. Especially because I remember liking that album. It's partially shame rage. Rivers Cuomo is trash. That's all I'm saying.
You heard it here first, folks. Capital T. All right, that brings us to honorable mentions, and maybe in the interest of time and sanity, we'll try your idea. You run through your honorable mentions, I'll comment as necessary, and then we'll switch over to me and I can do mine.
Well, I actually only have one that
we haven't
talked about already. That is a sort of a combo DC Talk / Jars of Clay. Because again, I had a really good time talking about both of those, but Christian rock is apparently an exclusively bad genre, and I personally cannot wait to do Petra or Newsboys, but I'm really into Petra.
What's Petra?
It's a band that's from like 1970 to now.
That's into Christ?
Oh, Garrett, they are Grammy winners for Christ.
Well, that's been done. So I should say, I split DC Talk and Jars of Clay on my list, and you'll find out why later. Tim can probably guess, but don't spoil it, Tim. They do appear later. But my very first honorable mention was, in fact, DC Talk. Jesus freaked Tim. The lust for Christ alone is unnerving.
People say I'm strange. Does that make me a stranger that my best friend was born in a manger?
That's how we do it. If you try to sync with me, we're done. I think we just figured it out, though. You can lead, and I'll fill in.
I am more of the leader between the two of us, and you just sort of...
Oh my God, I'll strangle the shit out of you. I'll cut your feet off and your hands off.
Anyway, we should do Petra next year. There's one called No Doubt. It came out in 1995. It is terrible. I've been doing some Jesus research recently.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. The DC Talk episode also did give us a ton of insight about Liberty University. And Tim, I really want to call out just how much from specifically the DC Talk episode you sang. Although also true on the other one. But you really seem to have been gripped by it.
Oh yeah. I am into it.
What's your next one, Timmy?
Oh, that's all for mine.
Let's see. One's from my honorable mention that we didn't hit on. First up, Jaden Smith's Sire.
Oh, fuck that little troll.
Wow. Strong words for something that did not make your list.
You know what? I didn't realize we'd done that this year.
My argument, not weird enough.
Well, compared to his life, the music was shockingly conventional.
Yeah. I just had a hard time with the bad boy of the suburbs of it all.
Yeah.
Like you wore a white linen Batman suit.
But he did look great in it.
Absolutely. Suited him well.
Didn't he try to trick Tyler, the Creator, into dating him by just announcing that they were dating online?
Right. But when we say dating, let's be really clear. I don't think romantically.
I don't understand kids these days, man.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't try to, and I don't care. Two things that I did write down from the Jaden Smith Sire episode. That was way back in June, late June of this year, last year for those of you listening in the future, or the present, or past.
Please stop this.
Sorry. Two things I wrote down that were from my notes from that episode. One, Tim has a hula hooping secret that was never shared.
Oh, yeah, no one wanted to know my secret, so it goes with me to my grave.
Fantastic. Tim is known for his lifelong secrets.
It wasn't a secret. It was more of a story that deeply involved me hula hooping. And we requested if you would like to know about this. Now, we got some 200 and something thousand votes on which dog was better. Not a single person voiced an opinion, either yay or nay, for my hula hooping thing.
Hashtag hoop curious.
No. Fuck off. It's too late.
Wow. Folks. Maybe you can turn his stony little heart to, I don't know, gold? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. I'm not doing it.
No matter, even if every single listener and viewer were to write in Hoop Curious, you still wouldn't tell them the story.
If they wrote in Hoop Curious and also Yogi
Apologized.
Forever, Batman Never, sure.
That's, you are muddying the waters of the 2022 dog off already.
I'm just going to cheat next year. I'm going to do a 2000.
I'm super shocked you didn't this year. Anyway, the rest of my honorable mentions. Next up, you got Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe 2, Noble Jackals, Penny Dreadfuls, and The Systematic Dehumanization of Cool. I think that title really should tip the hat to anybody confused as to why you should hate this. Fuck off, man. Let's see. Kevin Federline we talked about. Oh, here we go, Tim. How this didn't appear on your list is beyond me. Episode 113. System of a Down Toxicity.
I don't remember it. What was System of a Down?
It's the one that's...
these are the Armenians.
Yes, easy. It has multiple songs about the Armenian genocide for some reason. It's very Rage Against the Machine
adjacent. To be clear,
adjacent.
We believe in. Garrett didn't at first.
Correct. Please stop saying that.
No, I'm saying you now do. You have been convinced that it is real.
I agree with you. It's very much
you
a
have
thing.
Grown. We are all proud of how much you have grown from such a staunch and unrepentant denier.
Tim, I got a lot of violent threats the last time you said this. Please stop doing it. This also had the self-righteous suicide lines, such as, I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die.
I cry when angels deserve to die. Yeah, you know what? This album sucks.
Yeah, it's really bad. All right, that's the end of my honorable mentions, which brings us to the prepisodes. How could we not touch on the 5 worst singles that we talked about this year, Tim? And I think we should stick to your approach. I'll let you go first. Give us your 5.
My 5 are Ray J, I Hit It First.
Interesting.
Number 5.
Any comments you want to make, feel free.
It's very sad. I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Super embarrassing to have done that on purpose.
Yeah, he did try to deny it was about Kimothy Kardashian for a little while. And I think that it's probably even more prescient now than it was then, because he might think that she's going to come back to him now that she has split with K-Way. And also, fuck this song because it gave Garrett another opportunity to announce or brag or whatever about how good he thinks Raymond J's dick is.
No, that didn't happen.
Number 4, for me, Weezer, Cold Dark World. And I have to say this here. This had to go on the list because, in my mind, I have to combine this with Pinkerton. Because this is him describing in its most sinister terms
exactly what goes down.
Yes, the method.
It's weirdly similar to the arc of BTK.
It is.
Subtly taunting the police, becoming more egregious, taking more risks to finally just coming right out and all but admitting what he's up to. They got Dennis Rader, they're going to get you, Rivers.
I don't think they're going to get him. I think he's going to get away with it. But this is a more practical, exactly how I'm going to do the thing. Whereas Pinkerton is more, here's who I'm going to do it to and why. In this song, he says, I've been watching you, girl, from the back of my car. I see you're unsure of the place that you are. Groceries spilling up out of your bag, thinking you'll end up a penniless hag. He goes on to then say that he's gonna make her understand, he's gonna be her man, he's gonna score. I'm not like the others, I'll be like a brother. I will protect you, never disrespect you. But if you need love, then I will be here to sex you.
Boy, that's less subtle than Corey and his Angels.
Number 3, Starship. We built this city.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Yeah, it's
such a money grab.
Yes, and it's sad because this is a band that was good, that probably could be good, but that was ruined so completely by the 1980s and honestly mid to late 1970s aesthetic. It's just a song about how rock stars born during the Great Depression, which they were mad that kids didn't think they were still hip in 1985 and wanted to remind everyone that they would all be dead without the music of Starship, and Starship would be dead without the music of cocaine.
Yeah, and then Lincoln danced in the music video.
Yeah, that's the thing. We need more cocaine-driven imagery and less cocaine-driven music from these idiots.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well put.
My number 2, Garrett, is Aaron Lewis, Am I the Only One? No question mark.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's my, Wait a minute.
Did you leave that off?
No, it's my number 3.
Oh, okay. All right. And I will say this. I don't know if you watched. When we first listened to this, there was no music video.
Right.
There is now a music video for this, an official music video. It's basically just him playing with a storm raging in the background, which I assume is significant for the storm that is a-coming from, I think it's a Q thing, maybe? QAnon? You familiar?
Rises.
Exactly. They're people that think he's the good guy. Anyway, but it's just a bunch of images of like Washington Monument, Mount Rushmore, Statue of Liberty, the Capitol, the Lincoln Memorial not dancing, which is bullshit, soldiers waving flags in front of sunsets, riots with flaming cars, black guys talking to cops, BLM signs staying 6 feet apart due to the coronavirus.
Really?
Yeah, and then when he's bitching about people taking statues down, they specifically show statues of Confederate generals twice to make very clear, I was, of course, talking about those. The COVID stuff, because there's more like, there's like empty schools, there's some riots, there's some empty shelves on like a grocery store, there's a closed due to COVID sign, people standing in the streets. It's weird because he does bring COVID into this as if that's one of the things he's apparently complaining about the liberals and the Springsteen is,
Timmy's against COVID.
I don't, okay.
I mean, it sounds, based on the imagery you're describing, it sounds like he's anti the concept, or at least admitting, how do I phrase this? He seems to be anti-germs, but not how like you and I are anti-germs. More like anti the concept of germs.
Okay, so if we don't admit that they exist, they can't harm us.
Exactly.
Smart. My number 1, Garrett, is the Van Morrison, Eric Clapton ode to needless assholery that is Stand and Deliver. Now,
that's my number 4.
Yes. On the plus side, I think this was our first live show in front of a very silent audience in a theater in Austin that did not want credit for the show, which is nice of them. Didn't want a name drop, and that went very well. On the minus side here, Garrett did assault me when I suggested the name Rick for Eric Clapton. Yeah. And it's just shitty. It's
these two suck. They suck monkey balls for any number of reasons. The more recent reasons, of course, we address in the episode. Even more recent, we've had a number of folks send in the article about Eric Clapton successfully suing some poor woman who, I'm not even going to get into it. Successfully suing a woman who did absolutely nothing wrong for an amount of money that she should definitely not have to pay a multi-millionaire. He's just a petty piece of garbage. And Tim, I don't want to say anything out of school, but I have long suspected that Eric Clapton is sheltering money in offshore accounts, using them as tax shelters. I cannot prove it. And if asked to share any of my evidence, I cannot share it because it doesn't exist. But I have always gotten that impression, and I think his activities this year point to the type of person that would have illegal tax shelters offshore.
It's not about the money. It's about being an asshole. But, Garrett, this was also the episode that got that guy, Ed, to repeatedly write YouTube comments about how he is proudly pro-racism, or at least he is on the internet. I doubt he's vocal about being pro-racist IRL, as you like to say. But, fuck this song for bringing that about as well.
Yeah, I know.
Well, there's my 5, Garrett. What about you?
You hit a lot of them, Tim. Our cycles are in sync this year.
Yeah, well, we have been living together for quite some time now.
An almost immeasurable amount. The ones that you didn't mention, Mr. Morgan Wallen's whiskey glasses.
I have that in my honorable mention.
I have no honorable mention for singles.
No, I only have 2. Anyway, I don't know if this song was top 5 worthy. Morgie sure as shit is, though.
Yeah, also, it's a nothing song.
Nothing song for like the most popular artist of the year.
Let's see, who else did you not mention? Morgan Wallen, Van Morrison we talked about, Aaron Lewis we talked about, Starship. The only one you didn't hit on is very similar to one of your last ones in the albums list. Episode 57, The Game, featuring Tyler, the Creator, Martians vs. Goblins.
Not as Halloween-y as we suspected.
Not nearly as Halloween-y. Not crazy enough. Just not very good.
Yeah.
Way more Jonathan Taylor Thomas talk on that episode than I was expecting from you. Didn't care for it.
I don't remember what I said, but I have some thoughts, if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah, I already have. Oh. Don't need to hear them again.
All right.
I didn't need to hear them in the first place. Protested heavily at the time. Still got them. What's in your honorable mention list?
The only other one is the Hoobastanks, The Reason.
Whatever, dude. I'm not a perfect person. That's a good time. Everybody just had a great time. Listeners, if you're getting a little aroused, you're welcome. That brings us to an interesting part of the show, Tim, and I'm going to let you go through your list first. I'm dying to see if we have any overlap. These are the albums or artists that we think deserve a revisit. What album did we talk about or artist did we discuss this year in 2021 that had something that makes you or I, we both have a list, say, you know what? We should go back to the well. I'm willing to sign up for more lashings. Tim, tell me your list.
Well, I have 4 here. The first is NoFX.
That's my first.
Yeah, if not for the cover art, I think the music was mostly passable, maybe. It's definitely not great, but I don't hate what they're doing. And I think that if we listen to, maybe not even NoFX, but just this genre, this sort of late 80s, early 90s skate punk, like a Bad Religion or something like that, a Pennywise.
MXPX.
They're apparently a Christian band. I don't know if you're aware of that. I think I could enjoy some of that music.
Yeah, I think I could too. I literally remember the words to a couple of songs. Weird.
Sure. There's, of course, Chris Cornell. I would like to try some of his other music. I would like to listen to it for the show for a full week of Chris Cornell that's not that album.
That is not on my list.
Desperately,
that's wild, man.
Desperately want to listen to some Chris Cornell.
Want to cleanse that palate?
Yeah, I feel like he was right on the edge of something not terrible with his Scream album. Ditto for Townes Van Zandt. I don't really remember doing the Paper Cowboy episode, but I really like the song Lungs, and he's got this acoustic set in Houston that I really enjoy. Maybe some more of that. Maybe some Townes.
You did nothing to do with it. I'll kill him.
I haven't listened to it. I don't remember it. Well, his studio albums, Garrett, were horrifically marred by studio interference, where he would essentially do what we all know and love from Townes Van Zandt, where he sits there with an acoustic guitar and plays an amazing song. And then they brought in a bunch of studio musicians after the fact to, play over him.
Are you telling me about Townes Van Zandt right now?
I am, yes.
I'll kill you. I'll straight up kill you. I lived Townes Van Zandt. I went places in this city. I used to live where... Listen to the episode, you fuck.
My last one, Garrett, is OAR, and this is just completely out of
What's wrong with you?
This is out of interest, because I need to know if they still sound as bad as they did then. Because they are releasing...
I don't think they will.
Well, okay, but so here's the trade-off. You have the song that everyone likes, which was played way back then, but they sounded super amateurish. Presumably, now they are much more talented. Yeah, professional. They're probably going to play their instruments better, etc. But they don't have any, hits. What is that like? It's it's interesting.
I mean, they're playing Western ska, so who wants that?
You know what? Maybe not them.
Good list, Timmy. I've got a few of my own. Let me take you through it. The first one that you didn't discuss is Live. I want to go back to Live.
Oh, God.
The way you're bathed in light. I love it, Tim.
It's sexy. No debate here. We did see them live. And
sure. Live.
Yeah, it was...
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly weird. But I'm sure they've got other albums we could do. We could do Throwing Copper. I don't know if that baby's going to hold up.
Oh, we should do Throwing Copper.
Okay, that was easy. Next on my list, 100 gecs.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are.
I don't want to do that.
That's
I
why
hate
we're
that
doing
stupid
it.
horse.
That's why he fell out of the Porsche. Next on my list, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy Americana Deluxe, which might be confusing because that was on my top 5 hated. But here's the thing. Didn't get those cherry poppin' daddies that I was aiming for. So I think we ought to swing back around, if you know what I mean, and revisit the band I meant to listen to.
So if we attempt to listen to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, you believe we will end up listening to Cherry Poppin' Daddy?
That's the theory. Or we'll do the same episode twice, which will happen at some point. Why not that one? The next one I've got Mr. William Smith, Wild Wild West.
Oh, yeah. We could do the Men in Black song.
That's what I'm thinking. Every time we do a Will Smith episode, I enjoy it. So I think we should go back to it. Weezer, Pinkerton. Needs to be revisited. Weezer, Tim, I can't get enough. They're just a non-stop crap factory. I could do a Weezer episode every other week for a year.
That's going to get really boring with the history.
Yeah, we won't do that. But I can't get enough of Weezer. As they continue to make shocking and appalling music, we will continue to cover it here on the show. I
think
promise.
we go back for the Blue album. Does that hold up? Does anything hold up?
What trance was America under in the 90s that we were fooled by this Japanophile? Last one on the list, Tim, and this is a special one. I put it last just for you, Jars of Clay. You were so fired up for Jars of Clay. That episode had you electric. We had to turn your levels way down.
That's true.
Nothing but shouting.
Now, can I offer you, instead of another Jars of Clay episode, stick with the genre, do a little Petra?
That's fine. I don't know what Petra is.
Explained it so long.
Take your word for it. All right. That brings us to a section of the show that only I will be talking in, probably, although I'm sure you'll interject. I asked Tim to put together a list of music from 2021 that he enjoyed. He vehemently refused, and I respect him for it, under the guise of being so consumed with bad music that he can no longer consume good music.
I just don't, I haven't heard any. I don't know. Maybe I have. Some of the bands we listened to, I guess, were not that bad.
No, not bands from the show, you asshole. Why would you?
The point is I didn't do the assignment.
Right. Absolutely not. No, I'm going to run through these really quick. Barely going to describe them. You can look them up yourself, folks. But these are things I've been listening to, honestly, in the last 3 months because I just ran out of time and couldn't keep going back. But this is the stuff I've been listening to all over the map. First, a song I absolutely love called Chaise Long by a band called Wet Leg. Look it up. It's ridiculous, and it's great. The band Geese, not too bad. Mr. Caleb Landry Jones, super weird, avant-garde dude. Got a lot of production that's weirdly similar to some Beatles albums. I really like it. A band called Good Morning. Tim, you've heard Good Morning.
Oh, yes. We thought this was called Breakfast for a while.
Right. Turns out that's the name of the album. But Good Morning, good band. Another one I'm listening to, Amel and the Sniffers. They have a new album, Comfort to Me. It's kind of a punk garage sound. It's pretty good. A new album by a band called The Record Company. It's called Play Loud. It's kind of a blues rock thing. Idols is a band. They have a new album called Crawler. It's not bad. It's not usually my taste in music, but for whatever reason, it's snuck in there. And then the last one is Snail Mail. I actually talked about Snail Mail last year. I prefer the previous album, but the new album, Valentine, is just everybody's favorite fucking thing on the planet. So if you've never heard Snail Mail, that's probably the one you'll like. I liked the one before it. That's my list. Tim doesn't have one. Any of those sound familiar, Tim?
Some of them, sure.
Fair enough. All right, that brings us to iTunes reviews. We ask all year, every damn week. Folks, get out there, throw the 5 stars. It's all we ask, really. We ask a couple other things, but it's the most important, and you have not disappointed. So Tim recommended that we parse through the iTunes reviews and pull some of the funnier ones out to read here on the show. Tim, how should we do this? Because I've got more than I care to admit. Should you read yours? I'll read mine.
You read one, I read one.
Okay. I'm going to kick things off. My first one, from November 26, 2021, by Noah Forbes, titled Let's Touch Tips, in quotes, and then it just says Garrett Harvey 6/8/2021.
I like that people are playing the in conversation game.
Absolutely. It's a fun game. Play it with us, play it with other people. Quote your friends out of context. They'll sound like monsters. What do you got, Tim?
Mine is from September 7th, 2021. It's called Little T, Move Aside for Big G by Three Ghosts. God. This is from a Tim head. Oh, God damn it. I used to be a self-proclaimed Timhead. After my email about cake, my boy G-Dog sent me a family of cobras to antagonize. To antagonize me? Okay. Sure, they kept biting me, and I had to keep going to the hospital, but it was while I was laying in a big pile of cobra eggs and blood, Jesus, that I learned the true lesson that GARP was trying to teach me. I was being a bad friend because I was angry at myself. Sorry to Harvey for saying Tim was better. You're truly dedicated to making me laugh and learn more about not only life, but also cobras. I named my favorite one Gary after my favorite podcast host. 5 out of 5 stars.
That's an amazing review.
This is from March 27th, 2021. It's called Would I Recommend? ? Two people who only listen to coffeehouse music, listen to good punk rock, and crush all of the alt's dreams while expressing their burning trash fire taste for 40-year-olds to feast on. Maybe I'm the one who has trash taste. Okay, so time for some actual criticism. Pros: they can be funny, they have likable personalities, and they made me laugh once. They didn't like Lil Pump. Cons, especially when it comes to T.O.P. and MCR. They don't take enough time to research the albums, and they mainly go off what the first impressions of the band themselves, and they don't look at the album and the history behind the album. You guys have better things to do than review Megan Thee Stallion? Come on. If you hate my opinion, just reverse all of the things I've said so your whittle ego is happy. 3 out of 5 stars.
All right. Seems like they liked some parts, they didn't like others. Thanks for taking the time. Shooting for those 5 stars. If it helps at all, sir, if you're still listening, or madam, how dare I? If you're still listening, it's all jokes and we don't really care.
I care so
any
much.
of it. Okay. Tim's pretty passionate about it. Me, I forget it the instant we shred it and burn it.
Well,
but
sure.
Anyway, good one, Tim. My next one is from August 27th, 2021. It's from Cam H502. It's titled Occupy Tim. And it simply says, Tim owes Gary financial restitution. 5 stars.
I don't agree with that review.
I completely agree.
This is a weird one. This is from Jeremy from Twitter, December 8th, 2021, titled Marshmallow Mayhem. The last time I had to take my kids to the park, I was just looking for a spot to sit. I had had a rough go at life for a few weeks, and now it was time to relax and watch my kids play. The place was packed with hot moms and schlubby dads, myself included. The hot moms were all talking about how unvaccinated their kids were, and the dads, myself included, were all trying to look innocent while we were totally checking out the hot moms. A bird flew overhead and made a noise like a small engine revving up. This made all the dads, myself included, look to the parking lot to make sure that no one was attempting to steal our sweet, sweet rides. My 1987 Chevy Corsica was right where I had parked it, so I went back discreetly trying to check out the hot Susies and Karens and Bethanies. One of them, I think it was Susie, caught my eye and gave me a knowing smile. She was all that in a bag of potato chips. Her loose sweats made her look frumpy, but I could tell she was the real deal. I
like those loose sweats, girl.
I approached her and introduced myself. I told her my name was Chad, even though it is really Jeremy, and we hit it off. Interesting.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I mean Chad.
Oh, it gets dark here. We have a date this weekend. I hope my wife can watch the kids and buys my story about how I suddenly joined the JCs. It is important to be a part of your community, even if it's just for pretend. 5 out of 5 stars.
Jesus Christ.
Jeremy, you're a monster. Thanks for the 5 out of 5 stars, though.
My next one, August 25th, 2021, from M. Bryant WHS. They write, they're right about so many of these albums, some of which I still like, that I'm willing to forgive the questionable treatment of their interns. Hashtag free Brad. 5 stars. Folks, you do not want to free Brad. No. Okay? If you hashtag free Brad, you're going to hashtag get a lot of face bites. Hashtag have chaos in the streets. Hashtag public urination. Tim, am I leaving anything out?
No.
Hashtag lock up Brad. Lock up all Brads.
And Chads. They are ruining it for the rest of us. That's an incel thing. Or an insob thing. It depends if you're talking about ladies or drinking. Anyway, this is by Ben Moostley from June 1st, 2021. It's called Sound Familiar? Cowboys of a certain age, get ready for a trip down memory lane. This podcast is a verbatim rereading of my grandfather's 1930s radio show, Smash Your Victoria, with one man doing double duty as the voices of the show hosts, Tim Harrison and Gart Hardy. At times, he sounds so much like my grampy, Tim, that I start crying, afraid that he's going to come back one last time to put me in the cellar for staying up late listening to his show. The dialogue is spot on and captures the fun spirit of the original show perfectly. I wrote this review on my own, and nobody forced me to do it. 5 out of 5 stars.
That is really weird.
Ben mostly is strange.
My next one, August 17th, 2021, Kurt Hustle in this bee, titled Bread. While they are from Osteen, they seem like they would be from Canada. 5 stars.
I've often said that.
Yeah, you have.
This is an early one from this year, January 18th, 2021, from Scooter and the Beef 99. It's called That's Humor, y'all. I'm always looking forward to an episode from these guys, whether they have something to say about the actual music itself or just use it as an excuse to ramble about any of the following: cowboy cults, candle-based serial killers, world domination, the ethics of the supernatural, rigid airships, Garrett's mysterious job, what other nonsense comes to mind, Garrett's no-nonsense bluntness combines with Tim's all-nonsense looseness, create some of the funniest improvised conversations in the history of podcasting. That's sweet. Gino's editing work creates the best comedic timing this side of UCB, and whatever Brad does, he does it really well. Untrue. And don't get me started on Tom, primarily because I can't say anything for legal reasons. 5 out of 5 stars.
Guys, I feel like you're out there putting guns to people's heads, making them write reviews. I'm going to be honest.
I read one about how some guy is no longer a Tim head.
That's true. We are converting every single day. Welcome to the fold. My next one, July 30th, 2021, from Estes138, titled Cuddles. I love the show. I've fallen in love with both of you. Tim, thank you so much for coming over to cuddle and hold me every time I call.
Oh, I know Estes. Yeah.
I know you have missed some shows from me, and I'm eternally grateful. Yeah. That's why you miss shows?
No. I do have
inside joke.
Yeah.
I do have one request, though. Please take off your spurs when you get in my bed. You've ruined 5 sets of sheets already. My God, she does know you. Yep, this person definitely knows you. Also, when you are the big spoon, something is constantly poking me. I'm sure it's your 6-shooter, so just take off that holster for me. Thanks again for taking this young cowboy under your wing and providing so much support. Forever your buckaroo, Andrew. Okay. It's pretty clear. God, what a great review. Thank you, Andrew. Tim, don't answer. I have no questions.
And that's
this
fair.
All adds up.
I got one more. This is from Pooh Bear 223 from July 27th, 2021, called Not Worth Another Listen. Listen to the episode about Follow the Leader. Though the hosts are probably just having fun and entitled to their own opinions while making some valid points, they focus solely on vocals and lyrics while failing to mention anything about instrumentation, song composition, or innovation. It doesn't seem like they have much musical knowledge, if any. Also, it is pretty clear that they try to make things sound worse than they really are.
Seems like he gets it.
In order to live up to the title of the show. The worst part is they make several comments on young angry white men, or wasps, as they put it. Let's see if they even mention angry young black men after reviewing a gangster rap album.
What?
Cowards. 1 out of 5 stars.
That took a crazy turn. Also, that's not what a wasp is.
No.
Sorry. That caught me off guard. It got weirdly racial.
Yeah.
My next one, I do have a few. There's a lot of good ones. I'm going to skip them because in the interest of time, but a couple more here. My next one is from April 6th, 2021, from Pete Hope. Title is Tim is Sketchy. I don't know. Can't explain it. Just seems like a skeevy guy.
How many
stars?
It's
a great review. 5 stars.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
This one from January 24th, 2021 from The Real Candlestick Maker 69.
Oh, God damn it. Enough of
this. The title is, this was from a year ago. The title is, This Has Ruined Every Other Podcast for Me. Good? This was the first podcast I had ever listened to. At first I was very confused, but I was laughing. The more I listened, the more I fell in love with the podcast. I've recently been trying to listen to other podcasts, and they don't hold a candle to this.
Oh,
For
I
instance,
get it. Candle.
Other podcasts don't talk about the serial killer known as the Candlestick Maker and his vast cameos in music of all genres and of all time periods. In summary, thank you, Tim and Garrett, for ruining every other podcast for me. Now, Tim, I certainly am not here to brag, and we do try to throw in some less than flattering reviews as well. In fact, the last one I'm going to read is a 4-star. But imagine here having our podcast be the first one you've ever heard. We're not doing it like most people.
I think I am.
What? No, you're not. You're not doing anything like most people.
Oh.
Last one I've got, Tim, 1 year ago today, is from FDaxT. FDaxT. The title is, "This is really funny. They are very funny, and then it just cuts off. I don't know what the full title is. But the review reads, "But why do you use the explicit tag? It's dumb." 4 stars. This dumbfounds me. It haunts me in my quiet moments, Tim. I don't know what this means. Are they saying, why do we swear and talk about things that are clearly explicit? Or is it just an issue with using the tag?
I assume, okay, so here's what I think is happening. I believe this person to be, I don't know, youngish, 12?
Youngish, or like
12.
Way too Christian.
No, somebody whose parents have like a lock on their phone that doesn't let them listen to or download explicit tagged things. And so they would like us to lie to their parents so they could listen. Maybe. I don't know.
Or clean it up.
I'm not going to do that, Garrett. I say it like it is.
I don't even know how to. Half of the things we talk about, Tim, I've never heard anybody say before, and they're disgusting.
Garrett, before we move on from the iTunes, well, really, this isn't iTunes. This is Spotify. Spotify keeps track of how many minutes people spend listening to specific podcasts or bands or whatever.
Oh, right.
And then they tell you that terrifying number at the end of the year, and tons of people DM'd us to our Instagram, to Twitter, to tell us their quote-unquote number.
We dread it every year, and every year it happens.
I don't want to embarrass this one individual, so I will not name him or her, mostly because Garrett sent me a screenshot of this that initially deliberately excluded the person's name, so I would not dox yet another loyal listener. James, I truly apologize for reading your exact address on the live feed. That was not cool. Anyway,
It's not cool.
The winner/loser of Who Listened to the Show the Most contest listened for 87,584 minutes, which comes out to 1,459.7 hours or 60.8 days. Hopefully this person is falling asleep and leaving it running for 8 hours, because otherwise, Jesus Christ. That person's name is Patch King 2500, aka the last remaining Rat King Stan on Twitter. Oh,
I thought you were going to make it anonymous.
Sorry, I did it again. I'm so sorry. Anyway, the point
Folks,
is,
this is not a bit at all. Like, I gave him purposely a redacted photograph. I'm not even, God, I don't think, a lot of things are bits, folks. A lot. Some things are Tim.
I've never done a bit on this show. The point is, I'm appalled and horrified at you psychopaths. But thank you. It's nice. It's flattering. It's actively making you dumber, but it's very flattering that you would bother to listen to us at all. So thanks.
Yeah, no, we do like that. But we're going to do a little more of that at the end. Tim, this brings us to a very interesting section of YouTube comments. I'm afraid of what you've collected. I've got a few comments that I thought were particularly funny. You've described what you captured as conversations.
Well, I do have conversations between us and between users and not us. So there's that.
All right, my first one's real quick. It's from Creamza Rabbit from the Simple Plan No Pads, No Helmet, Just Balls episode. Simply says, LOL, shut the fuck up, you literally know nothing.
That's true. I have one from Daeshoriyojun95. This person comments on pretty much every episode. I still don't know how to say that name. Yes, thank you so much for listening. This is in reference to the Attila album, and he says, or she, I love your refusal to maintain continuity. And I think that maybe that's
insulting.
No. I think what he is picking up on, or she, is the constant propofalling that we get, both from you to me and from Gino to both of us. So we sometimes forget.
Oh yeah, we got some black spots. Just total blanks.
Yeah.
So just know we're trying to maintain a continuity, but we lose time on occasion when we are both voluntarily and involuntarily drugged.
Yes.
My next one is from the recent episode 139, Insane Clown Posse Yum Yum Bedlam Part 1, from Gerby2000. They simply wrote hashtag Yum Yum Virgin.
I have a conversation from that one. This is in between Dasharujan95 and Nico. We'll call it D95 because I can't say that, whatever those letters are. He or she writes, quote, a music album, you know, like a band would do. I love this sentence. To which Nico, our good friend Nico, wrote, I laughed at that too. ICP definitely progressing in reverse order, starting off with weird albums and slowly heading towards stock standardness. To which D95 said they went from whatever clown nonsense to actually trying to write songs like actual human people. To which Nico said, slow transition from horrorcore to Christian contemporary. Juggalos are the frogs in the pot of evangelism hot water. Would not surprise me if one of the cards is Joel Osteen.
Jesus Christ. One of the cards is Joel Osteen.
Yum Yum Bedlam to Joel Osteen. I love it. It's too bad they're not that clever, Nico.
We couldn't wait till Christmas if the Joel Osteen card was revealed as part of the Dark Carnival. God, that's hilarious. Good one, Tim. My next one is from our OAR The Wanderer episode. It's by frequent commenter Alama. Alama writes, oh, right, this is where people on the internet continue to slander me. Thank you, Tim. Alama writes, I remember that face painting story, and I can unfortunately confirm Tim's recollection of events is accurate. Think, Garrett, a teenage girl's hands couldn't have been that hairy. That is ridiculous. It was a girl.
Poison, Every Road Has Its Thorn by Jessica Stedel. I pictured Tim slow dancing middle school style with fellow cowboy during the last dance of the annual Cowboy Jamboree Sex Cult Festival.
Fantastic.
Don't care for that, ma'am.
My next one from episode 78, an American Werewolf in Paris soundtrack by No Name. No Name writes, trying to find the name of the hip-hop song where Julie is in the kitchen cutting hearts and putting them into a blender. Shazam can't find it. So folks, if you know the American Werewolf in Paris movie, the part where Julie is cutting up hearts and putting them in a blender, if you know that song, head on out to YouTube, episode 78, and let No Name know. From
the Spin Doctors episode, this is also from Alama. $5 says there's a slimy pile of venomous snakes in that box, or one large strangling snake. Snake emoji. As for horses, the average size of an adult ranges from 840 to 2,200 pounds. Also, the average lifespan is about 25 to 30 years, so assuming our hero morphed himself into a hulking 2,200-pound horse monster in August of 1991 when this album came out, best case scenario, he should be drawing his last breath any day now.
Jesus. My next one's from episode 53, Corey Feldman, Angelic to the Core, from Jessica Studle again. She comments quite a bit. Quote, I hate myself in the past for having made fucking stupid nicknames for things. End quote. 12417 in conversation with Timothy Richardson, 119-2019.
Oh, people are in conversating you about nicknames. Excellent. One last one for me. This is from the Prince episode. This is Simon Waldron, who said, you couldn't name any Minneapolis bands? Seriously? The Replacements? Husker Du? To which I responded, actually, I can name and have enjoyed both of those bands. However, I was unaware that they were from Minneapolis, and I will likely remain unaware of this fact in the future. Simon then said, then I shall be sure to remind you this on a weekly basis, maybe even a daily basis, if you'd like. To which I said, I would like, but have not heard back from him.
Don't threaten Tim with daily reminders unless you're talking to a man that literally documented my speech, dictated things I said as a bit for years.
Well,
continues to.
The bit really was about proper citation.
Right.
It's my love of order.
Anyway, nothing like organizing your friends' words. My next one is from Gunter Smith. It is, of course, from the Corey Feldman episode. He says, they don't have to sleep with him, just like he doesn't have to give them a place to stay. Quote, you're beautiful the way you are, so to ensure you stay beautiful, you'll need to sign this contract agreeing you won't gain weight. End quote. I don't know who he's quoting, if that's Corey, if that's something we said.
I assume a lawyer.
Jesus Christ, Tim. Another possible moment pointing to what Tim's previous job could have been. Entertainment lawyer remains the number one suspect.
Now that I'm done with the propofol, I remember all that stuff before that.
Oh.
I remember I briefly forgot everything before 2018, but again, that was because you propofoled me.
Allegedly. Okay, two more quick ones, Tim, that really caught my attention. One from the Sublime episode, 40 Ounces to Freedom, by Dead Vogue Star. They simply said, stop lying. Period.
Fair.
Yeah. I like it. That we probably lied a bunch on that episode. And then the last comment I pulled off of YouTube was by, I'll just call him Don. Don wrote, as someone who used to do heroin, I can confirm that music sounds great I can confirm that music sounds great and elevating like Aeroplane suggests while on heavy narcotics. All music, lots of really bad music, like Suicide Boys. So much Suicide Boys.
Cool.
Good comment, Don.
Yeah. Keep writing in. I would like to know more about this previous life.
Moving on. That brings us to emails or email, depending on what you want to do, Tim. I've got a couple of short ones or one long one. Let's have you go first. What's your email or emails this week?
Well, I have a very recent email from Robert Maddox. It's called Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Hi. It's every cowboy sings his sad, sad song. Not coward. Maybe you corrected it later in the episode. I stopped listening, so just do you know. Peace sign, Rob. It was later revealed in that episode that Garrett was pranking me, and quite successfully, I might add.
Oh my God. I literally... The clip I play literally has me saying coward.
Yeah, he did not do a very good job covering up that it was him.
No, didn't even try for a minute. Recorded it on my phone. Did it in an Applebee's. I was burning down an Applebee's at the time. Not in my city. All right, my first one, Tim, is from Charles. Charles says, Curse of the Why I Hate This Album podcast. I'm a longtime listener and was recently enjoying the Queen of the Damned episode for the first time. However, when I went to have a look at of what the author Anne Rice has been up to, it turned out she had died on that day I was listening to the episode.
Oh.
Perhaps the boys at the lab could look into the possibility that a curse set by J-Devil has finally come to fruition.
Well, maybe you should listen to a Rivers Cuomo episode and then immediately go check to see what he's up to. Wink, wink. Yeah. Nod, nod. Nudge. Stomp, stomp.
Wow. What else you got, Tim?
This is from Patrick. Hello, Patch, and then in parentheses, Patrick, and then in also parentheses, DCU Strangler here. I know you guys may be sick of hearing from me, but I have discovered what may be the worst place on Earth.
Oh, I saw this.
Rivers Cuomo Discord server. The instinct is to believe that this is some fan shit. No, this is led by Herr Cuomo himself. I'll explain this later. I found this through a really funny guy on Twitter where he made a joke about the quote-unquote call to arms that Herr Cuomo made for people to join his server so he can do a quote-unquote Macbeth reading with them. I assume he's picking up hard-to-read texts so even Asians with near-perfect English slip up eventually. I attempted to join, but that man has created the most bullshit entrance thing imaginable that either means my phone has a bug or he's designed it so I can't join. I have some choice quotes from Cuomo in the Cuomo bot, and he's got several listed here that I'm not going to read here. Other than to catch Asians, what is the aim of his server? Simple. For Cuomo to set up a way to sell shitty demos to fans. He specifically said that there's no sharing of the demos, so I doubt they're halfway decent or even barely listenable. Arguably, the grossest thing is what I found out right now. His fans refer to him as daddy in passing. This 51-year-old man is all of their daddies. Arguably, the worst thing they have done is stolen your own audience, and then he provides proof. He provides a picture of, I don't know if I should say this, Garrett. Should I say it?
Say it.
Okay. No is a member of this server. I'm gonna go puke. This is probably too long to read, but it's worth informing the audience. Currently hurling up the vomit, Patrick. So, what we've learned, the main wheeze is creeping out people on the internet, he's ripping off his fans, and he's stealing Why I Hate This Album audience members to his side.
Well, listen, we've known for years the gentleman you've referenced is an unabashed Weezer fan. He's admitted it himself, so this is not news. And nor do I think it's necessarily I can't say that. I was going to say it's not necessarily a ploy by Rivers Cuomo to slowly lure our audience over to his side. That's entirely possible, Tim. In fact, I think it's all but likely.
I think it's slowly a ploy to get us to actually go to him to get our audience back, to save them Taken style, and then I assume he's...
Only to be terrariumed?
Exactly.
Yep.
He's planning on shutting us up for good.
He's going to put us into a house of booby traps and trap doors, the likes of which you've never seen. God, have you ever seen
there's no trap doors. I think it's probably just a solid glass wall.
Goodness gracious, that's not fun. Interesting email, difficult research. Get out of that Discord server. Join ours. My last email of the year-end review, Tim, is from Nico. Nico's email is titled Gino, in parentheses, piece of shit, which is fascinating until I saw what is inside the contents of this email, Tim, and it does add up. What a piece of shit. Dear Tim and Garrett, that senile Italian fuck and his 17-year-old maid/sex partner, he clearly knows Gino, have blatantly ripped off your idea. I knew he couldn't be trusted. And then, as proof, Tim, he has included some, I guess, podcast art, which is a picture of our beloved septuagenarian, fascist-leaning producer, Gino, sitting in a chair, as he does, much as he is right now. Well, actually, right now, he is holding a very big knife. Gino, where did that come from? Anyway, podcast art that is entitled Why Gino Hates This Album, and his first episode appears to be on, now Tim, brace yourself, this is gonna hurt. The first episode appears to be on Texas Toast and the East Area Rappers.
Okay, that's rude because he is one of 3 people that have heard it. If 1 in 3 people hate it, that's not good for us.
No, that's passing. No, if 1 of 3 people like it, no, that's not good.
Neither
that's
is passing. Good. We use a 70% system.
Maybe you.
Yeah, me, us, the show.
Well, the show, sure. Anyway, Tim, this, I don't know how you want to handle this, but we got to nip this in the bud immediately.
We could do some sort of ship thing.
A little bit of the old what's good for the goose is good for the gander, a.k.a. old Italian bastard. You want to go on a boat, you fuck?
He's great at swimming, though.
He's stronger than I am. Also, he seems to be armed with what I can only assume is a tank of propofol.
It's a whole tank.
That's not my supply. I think he's gone around me. Oh, boy. All right, Tim, that brings us to the end of the episode. Hope people enjoyed it. The only thing left to say is, of course, especially if you've listened to this nonsense, you're truly a listener. And hey, I know, some of you are viewers, and that's even more special. I'm looking at you right now. Camera B, looking at you. Camera C, viewers, thanks for viewing. All right, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for supporting us, even though we barely ask for anything, just the 5 stars in the Apple Podcasts app. And a lot of you haven't done it. I mean, we know thousands of people download the episode.
We know hundreds of thousands of people are willing to send in paper ballots for dogs.
Yeah, that part was weird. I said, there's no way people are going to send in physical ballots. Tim insisted, and listen. Well, I can admit when I'm wrong.
If there's
You're
one
100%
thing,
right.
If there's one thing that I believe in, it's integrity of elections.
History would prove otherwise. But thank you, folks. Thanks for all the things you do to make the show fun. Most importantly, you listen to it. If you don't listen to it, then this is just 2 crazy people rambling at each other. And that's what we did for the first 11 years.
True.
So let's make the next 11 better.
Thanks for the songs and the emails and the comments and the artwork. So much artwork. We will put it on the Instagram. We will put your songs on the show if you make good songs. We like them.
Keep sending them. That's what I'm saying. Analogy fits perfectly. Tango and Cash. Not Drive Angry.
Nick and Archer.
Oh, right. You wanted it to be Sean Archer.
I don't want to be Sean
His name isn't... No, I understand. His name is Sean Archer.
Mm-hmm. And he's played by John Travolta.
More confusing. You realize that, right? And Nicolas Cage's character's name is Nick.
He's Castor Troy, Garrett.
But this is in no way related to Face Off.
No, I just think that that's how people know them. And so they're not going to recognize the characters otherwise, you see.
You're becoming almost impossible to communicate with.
Yes.
Like as a person.
Yep.
No, don't. That statement did not deserve a response, especially from you.
Oh, we'd like to thank Eric Clapton for being such a good sport.
No, for being such a huge cunt.
Oh, he has been the worst for approximately 47 years.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of the show. Let's do it quickly. Thank you. Please, if you can, do all the things we just thanked you for doing. And if you've never done them, what's wrong with you? Go do them now. 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app. If you got time, leave a weird review. It'll end up on a show, just like very many of them did today. You can also write in hatePodMail@gmail.com, and we want to hear from you. Send us your thoughts, your ideas, your hopes, your dreams, your stories, your tales, your songs, your artwork, your theories. We want to hear it all.
If you know words like Bugman that maybe we don't know but could start using on the show, send us those too. I would have
Don't do
never
that.
called Garrett an archetypical bugman until I knew that that's what he was. If you have propofol, go ahead and
Nope,
send it
don't
in.
even finish that sentence. Jesus Christ. I'm going to edit so much of that whole part out. Good God, man. Anyway, assuming Tim's been almost completely edited out of this segment, you can also find us on Instagram. That's HatePod. On Twitter, it's Album HatePod. I'm Garrett. That's G Harvey Tweets on Twitter. Tim's on Instagram, but it's a secret, so don't worry about it. He won't let you follow him or follow him back or whatever the fuck's. I don't care, man. I'm too old for this shit. What else? We've got subreddits. We've got Discord servers. We've got, all the fucking things. You know how it works. We're on the internet. Come find us. Reach out. We want you to. We'll have a talk. We'll actually talk to you more than you probably want to talk to us.
Maybe. If you're...
Maybe.
Yeah, come on.
Got a bit of a backlog on the email.
There's so many.
So many. Anyway. All right. Happy 2021. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the preferred host of the Dutch, Timothy P. Richardson, and Yogi P. Richardson is the best doggy of the Dutch.
Little Dutch boy, doggy.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
I have been the funny one.
Tim, were you saying you were the funny one again?